Very little to no smoke. Really hot in the center where that bundle's at. Alright, it's that time again. Time for another midweek video from Corporals Corner. And today I'm thinking a bird's nest versus a Tinder bundle. Let's get to it. One thing that I always teach and preach in my videos, especially over the 14-year period, is that you're looking for properties of materials or resources. Far too often people get caught up in, well, I'm on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, I'm in the Midwest, I don't have this, I don't have that, well, I can't do it. If you look for a certain resource, like say tree bark, and today we're going to use tulip poplar, it's actually a magnolia, but Google tulip poplar, and it gives you a whole list of characteristics. You're going to find that aspens, cottonwoods, junipers, cedars, all have similar stringy bark. Once that bark is dried, it can be peeled off and used to make a bird's nest or a tinder bundle, which you can use to light your fire. So today I want to focus on the tulip poplar, being them on the East Coast. We want to go ahead and get this dead bark, strip it off, and I'll show you how to process it out. And we'll talk about the differences between an actual bird's nest and a tinder bundle. And right here, the one in the center, you can see that's dead versus the two on the side. Bark is actually peeling away right there. So we're going to go ahead and peel that off and strip it as far as we can, collect it, and then process it. Alright, so today's focus is not tree identification. I showed you those tulip poplars, and the best bet and best piece of advice I can give you is learn how to identify trees not only from the leaves, but from the bark. And here's why. Unless it's a pine tree or something similar where the needles or leaves stay all year round, trees lose the leaves. It's easy to walk out and go, oh, that's a quaking aspen, and that's a tulip poplar, that's a maple, that's an oak. But what if the leaves aren't there? Using the bark is around the tree all year round. So if I had to pick one or the other, learn tree identification from the bark. Now, today we're going to process this bark out and make a bird's nest and then a tinder bundle. Both start out the same way. I'm going to take a piece. Let's say, for example, this piece right here, it's extremely hard, it's brittle. I want to simply just work it around my hand and break it up to where I can actually move it around and manipulate it. Now, a bird's nest, think of what a bird's nest looks like. It's got piles of fluff inside of it, it's coiled around, it's just wrapped around inside of itself, creating a small bowl for the bird to lay its eggs in there. So that's what you're doing, or that's what you're going for with a bird's nest. Now, a bird's nest, in my opinion, is one step above flash tinder. A flash tinder, when you hit it with a spark or a lighter, it goes up like this. A bird's nest will last for probably about a minute and then burn out. The whole purpose of a bird's nest is to insert it into a pre-made fire lay, to ignite that fire lay. Now, the main purpose of a tinder bundle is to build it to where it can sustain itself. It will smoke and smolder and just sit there as you build a fire lay on top of it. Then simply lay down or get close to it, add that oxygen, it will burst into flame and start your fire lay on fire. A Tinder bundle has its place, in my opinion. You have wet, damp wood you're dealing with. You want something that's going to burn for a long period of time and dry that wood out. Tinder bundle. If everything's bone dry and you want to just insert it and get that fire going now, bird's nest. So on that note, let's make a bird's nest. Taking a handful of the bark, all we're going to do is we're going to grab it and we're going to twist it around itself. And as you see, that powder's coming off of it, but what's it doing? It's fraying it all up and exposing those fibers. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Just keep working my way all the way around this. It's going to break, but I really don't care, because in a bird's nest, we're going to just stuff it around and pile it into itself. So we have 3 different pieces that we were working on. I'm going to just combine them together and kind of stuff them inside of each other and create what appears to look like an actual bird's nest. And that in a nutshell is what you're going for. If you look at it, it's consistent all the way around the outside, in the center, and on the top as well. You went ahead and processed it the exact same way, equally. And you have a small indentation here where you're going to place your ember, or simply use a lighter or a ferrocerium rod to get that spark on there. These are perfect in a bow drill or a hand drill application. Make a small indentation, put that ember in there, and let it do its thing. Simply add oxygen, right? And it's uniform throughout. Something like this will burn for a good minute or 2. You could insert it into that fire lay and boom, hopefully it catches, right? Let's go ahead and switch over to a Tinder bundle. Now let's go ahead and talk about a Tinder bundle. Think of basic fire starting. You have your tinder, you have your kindling, and your fuel. Your tinder is what you use to light your fire with. That could be a fire starter, pine sap, fat wood, bird's nest, etc. Then you have your kindling, which is your sticks that are anywhere from pencil lead to pencil, finger and thumb sized, all right, in your fire lay. And then you have your fuel, meaning anything larger than your thumb, up to the size of your forearm, okay? And they all work together, nice clean burn, very little to no smoke, fuel, oxygen, and heat, and you're warm for the night. So a Tinder bundle is basically a miniature campfire. I want 3 layers. Coarse outer shell, medium to fill that shell, and I want fine powder on top. The fine powder will ignite, slowly burn like a large ember. It's going to grow larger and larger and larger. And pretty soon you have the size of a softball. And that ember is going to sit there and smoke and smolder until you add oxygen. And that will allow you to build your campfire on top of it. That long piece that I collected is kind of hard. I want to strip off this outer bark and utilize the pieces on the inside. This is going to be our outer shell. I'm going to go ahead and just work this thing around, and we're going to get this to where we can actually shape it into something like this. And then we're going to just tuck the insides into it on here and here. And then we're going to go ahead and add under layers and create sort of like a basket. So now we're going to go this way with it. So here's our coarse material, and it sort of resembles a basket. Next, we want our medium material. I'm going to semi-process it like we did for our bird's nest. We're going to fill this thing up, and then we're going to push it down and leave a small opening or depression for our really fine material. Yeah, we want medium material. We don't want nothing too crazy. This is going to sit inside that basket. We'll just work this thing around, expose those fibers. We're going to fill that basket up. So going for something like this, and you should be in business. Place that medium material inside there. There we go. And then we have room for our superfine material right there. For the fine and superfine material, the more brittle it is, the easier it is to work with. Look at that. Just crumbling apart. That's what we want. Look at all those fibers. Look at that. So there's our coarse, medium, and here's our fine. Place that right inside there. And there you go. As far as dimensions go, think of a softball. I want something no smaller than the size of a softball for either one of these methods. On a bird's nest, 2 or 3 layers of equally processed material folded into one another to resemble a bird's nest. We're then going to take the bird's nest and insert it into a fire lay to get it started, which means your fire lay is pre-made. A Tinder bundle, 3 layers, coarse outer shell, medium filler, and fine or extra fine material on top, where you're going to light that area with an ember or open flame or spark. You then can build your fire lay on top of this and then simply add oxygen when you're ready to go. Here's a pre-made fire lay. I'm going to stick this as far as I can back inside here and get this thing to light. Here we go. One shot, one kill. I'll turn it over on its side so it's fully engulfed. Hopefully it will take. There's the oxygen from the wind. I roll this over top here. Let it do its thing. I run the first one this way and then the second one perpendicular. And perpendicular. Perpendicular. Across the top of it. I'm in no hurry whatsoever because it's down there, it's smoldering, it's smoking. It's exactly what I want. Fire likes chaos. And I'm controlling the fire is not controlling me. Now, I can come down here. If you notice down there, there's a very small amount of that Tinder bundle actually being used. And look at that. It's going to burn long and hot. And there's our nice clean burn that we're talking about. Very little to no smoke. Really hot in the center where that bundle's at. Perfection. As you can see, both methods are effective. The bird's nest you're going to insert. The Tinder bundle you're going to build upon. And just think, for either, I want the size of a softball and no smaller. Let's go ahead and end this bad boy off. With that, all the gear of my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.